Yes, hello, son. How are you? Oh, I'm doing very fine. Thank you for asking. You want to go to a party? With who? No. You're 15 years old. You don't need to be at nobody's party. Well, are her parents going to be there? Oh, they are. Well, still no. Obviously, I don't have a 15-year-old. Just working on my nose. All right, welcome to Taits Take. If you're new here, today we're doing a spoiler-free review of the new Netflix series, Forever. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular Taste Takers, let's get into this black love. Okay, quick background here. Forever is a new Netflix series that's based on the book by Judy Blume that was written 50 years ago in 1975. And honestly, I don't know how much more I gotta pay these writers, because it's getting sloppy. Everybody knows that 1975 was 30 years ago. Anyway, Judy Blume apparently is one of the most famous authors of all time. Her books have sold over 90 million copies. She's known as one of the voices of young women. Her most popular book is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Okay, y'all heard of that one? Me too. Basically, Judy Blume is known as a literary trailblazer. In other words, she was talking about shit no other author was. And that's exactly what got some of her books, including this one, Forever, banned from countless schools. Because her teenage daughter told her, hey, I want to read something where teenagers are having sex where, and I quote, nobody dies or gets pregnant. It seems like a fair ask. And that's exactly the book her mom wrote. 4 million copies later, banned or not, the rest is freaking history. You guys know my slogan. Sometimes you gotta just do shit. Anyway, how do we get to this 2025 version of Forever? Well, for that, we got to go from one icon to another, because that story moves to Mara Brock Akil. Now, if you don't know Mara by name, I'm almost guarantee you know her by her work. And if you don't mind, we about to take some time here at Taits Take to give her some flowers. Mara Brock Akil was born in Los Angeles. She moved to Kansas City, Missouri when she was a kid after her mom and dad split. Her mom's out there in Kansas City raising her and her siblings by herself. Mara grows up and goes to Northwestern University in Chicago to study journalism. And I'll be remiss if I didn't mention that it is at Northwestern where she pledged Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Shout out to the Deltas. Shout out to the D9 gang. At some point at Northwestern, Mara joined a black sketch group. She got some laughs on stage and fell in love with that feeling. After college, she moved back to Los Angeles, and she used that Northwestern alumni base to connect with an assistant director whose name alone on her resume got her in the door of the television industry. And it is no exaggeration when I say that she will go on to be one of the most influential people in television history. Full stop. Once she got into the industry, she worked on all sorts of shows in the 90s and the 2000s. She worked on the Sinbad show. She worked on Moesha, shout out Moesha. She worked on the Jamie Foxx show, which unfortunately, none of y'all know nothing about that Jamie Foxx show, which was low-key, high-key, just as funny as Martin. But don't at me though. Mara then became the youngest black showrunner on broadcast network television in May of 2000 when she created a little show known as Girlfriends. Fire show with arguably a top 5 theme song sung by the late, great Angie Stone. We're going to have to battle it out in the comments though. What y'all think was the best TV theme song? Because obviously, Living Single is in the running. Obviously, Martin is in the running. Obviously, Fresh Prince is in the running. The Wayans Brothers is in the running. I know y'all don't know nothing about that Growing Pains theme song, but that's in the running. I also happen to know that y'all don't know nothing about that Muppet Babies theme song, but that's also in the running. Okay. What was I talking about? Okay. Get serious. Because Mara didn't just make this classic show Girlfriends, then kick back and chill. No. She said, oh, y'all like that one? Here go the spinoff. It's called The Game. Now listen, I know I'll be joking around with y'all a lot. I said y'all ain't know nothing about that Jamie Foxx show. You actually might. But I'm not playing with you fine Taits takers when I say you definitely don't know nothing about The Game. Because you wasn't there. You wasn't there when The Game fanatic had to put the episodes on YouTube when we lost the CW. You wasn't there. You wasn't there when Tasha Mack was singing at work. You wasn't there for the turkey baster. You wasn't there. I know you wasn't there. Then this woman done brought us one of the funniest characters in TV history. His name's Tait. Whatever, you had to be there. More importantly, when Mara created the game, she became the first black female showrunner to have 2 shows concurrently on broadcast network television. The resume is excellent. You see why we had to give her some flowers? Anyway, what brought Mara to this project forever? Well, that story starts back in 1982. This is when Mara first read the book. She was 12 years old, sneaking around with this thing because it was passing around in school. And besides the fact that it was so damn steamy, Mara actually liked that rite of passage part of the story. Like that first moment where kids are moving away from only knowing family and parental love. Mara has said that she always felt that Judy Blume was part of the seasoning in creating her voice as a writer. Fast forward to about 2020, Mara finds out that her agency also represents Judy Blume. This is around the time where Judy started letting her work become movies and TV shows. So Mara's out there like, okay, someone got Are You There, God? It's me, Margaret. Okay, cool. Someone got this. Someone got that. Who got Forever? But it wasn't on the list. Turns out Judy Blume didn't think 1975's Forever could be translated to the modern era, given how exposed young people already are to sexuality and the topic of love. And that's a good call out, because what these kids could find on Twitter alone is shocking. Then, God forbid, they watch Euphoria, not even gonna mention the regular boobs you see all over Instagram. The point is, she wrote that book Forever in a time where nothing else like that even existed. But Mara took some time. She reread the book, then raised her hand. She said, look, I have an idea. Can I talk to Judy? Now, this was right around the time where Mara got her deal with Netflix. She signed on to do, I think, 4 shows. This is the first one out of 4. She got some time with Judy. She was like, look, Judy, these are my ideas. Judy's like, you know what? I fuck with you. These are good ideas. And they've been working on it ever since. Now let's talk about Mara's version of the story. All right. Plot time. Forever takes place in 2018 Los Angeles, and we got a love story. Who are our lovebirds? Well, we got Justin Edwards, who's played by Michael Cooper Jr., and we got Keisha Clark, who's played by Lovie Simone. One night, Justin gets invited to this party by his boy Darius, who my real ones would know as Young Randall from This Is Us. Anyway, they pull up to this party. Now, Justin is a shy kid, just trying to find himself. They describe him as like 1 foot in confidence and the other foot in insecurity. He plays basketball, but doesn't really get in the game. He likes making music, but that's just a hobby. The point is, he's not the life of this party. Then he sees Keisha. He's like, damn, who the hell is that? She bad. Turns out this the same Keisha Clark he went to elementary school with. Damn girl done glowed all the way up. But even though she's all glowed up and her edges are laid, she ain't the life of the party either. So because these regulation hotties are both somehow outsiders, they reconnect at the party, which then becomes day 1 of a very interesting love story. Are these 2 soulmates destined to have their Hollywood forever after? Or is it too good to be true, and do the pressures of teenage love prove to be too much to overcome? And now we got a series. So what's my take? Okay, I think this show is about 2 things mainly. Number 1, this is a show about 2 high school kids falling in love. Number 2, this is a show about how parents parent 2 high school kids that are falling in love. So because I'm not a high school kid, or any other form of young adult for that matter, and I'm not a parent trying to parent one of these horny ass kids, this show isn't really made for me. And that's totally fine. I know that most of the time that Beyonce makes a record, it ain't gonna be for me, but I can still recognize art for what it is. And if I think it's gonna resonate with its intended audience. So with that whole TED Talk, y'all probably like, good Lord, filler Buster Rhymes, is the show good or not? Is it gonna resonate or not? Honestly, I don't know. And yes, Donald Trump, sometimes you can say that. There's a lot to like about this show, and I'm gonna break down some of those things. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna rely on hearing what y'all have to say about this one, who it maybe hit closer to home for. First and foremost, most importantly, I think they done found 2 future stars in Michael Cooper Jr. and Lovie Simone. The most important part of a love story is, of course, the lovers. And you couldn't tell me that these two people met at the table read and wasn't already soulmates. They was literally flying to Los Angeles to do these table reads on the same flight, sitting next to each other, not knowing who the other one was. They didn't realize that it was each other until they got to the hotel. Ain't no way. Listen, as up and down as their relationship is in this show, I'm gonna tell you right now, they need a trigger warning. They need a trigger warning for lonely people, because when it's up, that shit is up.
Low-key, I've always had a crush on you.
Hey. Will you be my girlfriend?
Why they have me on this same damn couch watching this show with the little hearts coming out of my eyes like in the cartoons. So earlier in their careers too, I'm looking forward to what they do next, especially Lovey, because she comes across like she's been doing this for decades. Next thing this show did well is in the themes. With 8 episodes, all about 50 minutes, they had time to get into some things. And it's not all the way deep for each of the themes, but they're touching on a lot of stuff. Now, remember I said this show takes place in 2018. When I first saw that, I was like, that's so random, because it ain't like a long ass time ago and it ain't current. What's the significance of 2018? But that was intentional. Mara wanted it in the heart of this super tough time that started with the murder of Trayvon Martin, the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement. Just a super tough time for parents of young black people, especially young black boys. And at the same time, when these parents are on high alert trying to protect their young black boys, these same young black boys are still just boys who are gonna like girls. So what does that give and take look like? Because the list of things that a parent has to worry about got so much longer in that time period. Then, of course, being a book that was banned for talking about sex, of course, they tackle sex, yes, safe sex. They tackle being a student athlete at a white school, the discussion of PWIs versus HBCUs, how to deal with the police. So many themes that were relevant in 2018 that are unfortunately still relevant in 2025. Okay, moving on. But in a similar vein to the themes, I gotta talk about the locations. Now, as a non-resident of Los Angeles, for now, all I can say is that it feels authentic to LA. It was shot there, and they tap into what I would consider a lot of culturally significant landmarks, one of which I have to fully address. That would be the restaurant Linden that in the show, Justin's dad, played by the iconic Wood Harris, is the owner of. In the show, he tells us that he wanted to name the restaurant Linden after Linden Boulevard to honor New York City, where he's from. He explains how Linden Boulevard stretches from Brooklyn to Queens and how it's one of the most diverse areas in the whole country. Now, I'm not shouting this restaurant out just because I'm from New York. I promise I'm not doing the Leonardo DiCaprio thing every time someone says New York on a TV show. I'm shouting out Linden as a proud homie moment because my boy Scott Williams is one of the 5 main creators of Linden in real life that brought an authentic New York experience to Sunset Boulevard. So look, if you're ever in LA, do yourself a favor and make that reservation. I'm gonna leave the information to Linden in the description of this video, but listen to me when I tell you, these people need no favors from me. Super dope space, and I can't wait to get back there this summer. Scotty, what up? Let's go Knicks. Okay, and speaking of summer, the other location I gotta talk about is Martha's Vineyard, the only other place where this show is shot, and it's with good reason. In the show, Justin's family vacations out in Martha's Vineyard for the summer. And like many other black families, they spend their time out there in Oak Bluffs, which is a spot that black people frequent in real life. It's actually a tradition that goes back to the early 1900s. That's when Oak Bluffs became a popular destination for middle-class black families just looking for a break from segregation and discrimination. Now I know I'm out here talking like I've been knowing about Martha's Vineyard. Surely did not. I never been. And I only just realized it was like this secret haven of black excellence. Anyway, just cool to see Mara highlighted in the show. And besides it just being cool to see Martha's Vineyard, I think that episode is one of the best episodes in the series. Because you get to see like Justin, his family, his extended family, his friends, all these black people just comfortable. I use that word intentionally. Just comfortable, happy, enjoying being themselves with themselves. You know, I gotta get to Martha's Vineyard. Y'all been holding out, and honestly, it's kind of messed up. Anyway, last two things I'm gonna touch on. No matter how much people are gonna debate the storyline, the decision making, the ending, I would bet you 2 ice cream sandwiches that everyone is gonna be in agreement that both the music and the fashion of this show is 10 out of 10. When it comes to fashion, the vintage drip in this show, the 90s energy, especially by Keisha, you could tell they put a lot of thought into it. Then the freaking soundtrack. The last time I felt this way about music in a show, let me just take a pause for a second. Let me think before I get crazy. Yeah, the last time the music in a show was this fire and like tied into what's happening in the show, gotta be Insecure. Yeah, I said it. I freaking said it. Anytime you play some freaking Snow Allegra, I already know what type of time the musical director's on. I'm already knowing. So yeah, there's a lot to like about this show. Again, I might have been at home like, what a stupid decision this person made. What a stupid decision that person made. But is that just because they're teenagers and teenagers do stupid stuff? I couldn't believe some of the stuff they were fighting about, or some of the stuff that they will block each other and unblock each other for. But then, is that because they're teenagers? I'm very excited to hear y'all thoughts. And now maybe you know a little bit more of the origins of how this show came to be. No matter how you look at it, it was created in very capable hands. Mara said it herself, like, this story is to show that no matter what happens, these two people needed each other at this point in their lives to help figure out who they are. Because the only love that is forever love is self-love. Mara Brock Akil, the flowers belong to you. All 8 episodes of Forever are available right now, exclusively on Netflix. As always, thanks for checking out Taits Take. If you enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, you already know what we're doing. Tell me what you think about the show, but also, I need to know your favorite TV theme songs, because it's heat out there. It's a lot. We grew up with a lot of heat. Well, I don't know how old everybody is, but it's a lot of heat. Did we lose that art of a good theme song? Really excited to get into this dialogue. Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace. Yeah, Mara the real deal, y'all. And I didn't even touch on this, but Regina King is a freaking executive producer on the show. She even directed, I think, the first episode. So it's just tapped by a lot of people who know what they're doing. I could just be just an old nigga. It's like, but it will be cool to see more seasons, like how the story evolves. Because what I really want in life, well, what I really want in TV is a different world. So with these kids starting college, what if that's the spinoff? Like she did The Game as a spinoff from Girlfriends. What if you do a different world type of show as a spinoff of Forever? You know what? Somebody get this to Mara. If you just share the video, well, probably whoever knows Mara watching this video wouldn't have stayed to the end for the rambles. So I probably should have led with that.